Comcastic.
We'll record it and just rebroadcast it.
Somebody write a complaint.
Just send it to the complaint box.
You ready? All right. All right, we're going to call the Board of Selectmen meeting for Monday, July 27, 2020 to order at 5:03. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have anybody on Zoom?
We do not.
All right, so we have appointment of Kevin Kershaw as seasonal groundkeeper at the cemetery for up to 19 hours per week at a rate of $12.75 an hour through November 2020.
Move to appoint Kevin Kershaw as seasonal groundskeeper at the cemetery for up to 19 hours a week at a rate of $12.75 per hour through November 2020.
Second.
Motion and second, any conversation? Yes.
I'm recusing myself as my husband, Mike Castronels, is a cemetery commissioner.
Thank you. Anybody else? All in favor? Appointment of interim finance director screening committee. Finance board representative James Scanlon. He's not here. We have employee representatives, Randy Carroll, Sam Jocelyn, Robert Valentine. And then we have citizen at large, Janet Nolan, 204 Diane Circle. Anybody want to discuss anything on it?
Well, you need to pick a candidate for the
Right.
employees.
I move that we appoint Jim Scanlon as a member of the Finance Board representative.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Yep.
Yes.
Move that we appoint citizen Janet Nolan from 204 Diane Circle to the screening committee as citizen representative.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
That leaves us 2, 3, 4, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And we want to pick one more, is that correct?
yes.
I believe so. Right? One
Yep.
more?
You
Yes.
have one, you chose one employee to participate. So 3, I sent out the email the following morning, these 3 volunteered.
I'd see 3 excellent candidates, but I move that we appoint Sam Jocelyn to the screening committee as an employee representative.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Yes.
I think it's important to have somebody on the committee that is residing in the town of Groveland. There's only one on here that resides in the town of Groveland. And Sam's been employed for a couple of years at least, maybe more. Time goes by fast. But to get a different perspective of somebody that just recently came here, and I think the fire chief would be a good candidate. So I'll make a motion that we appoint, we can have 2 motions on the
It's
floor.
out of order.
What?
Point of order. You can only have one motion on the floor.
Yeah, I was going to say you can only have one. So,
Oh, yes, it was a motion, not a nomination.
A motion and a second.
Yeah.
Now we're discussing.
Yeah, I just think it would be important to have somebody that lives in the town of Groveland, recently employed here, give it a different perspective, and I think he would be a valuable choice.
any other comments? Jason?
You mentioned that we're possibly looking at getting 7,
If possible.
if possible. Well, with these 3 here, that would give us 7. We wouldn't have to choose if we.
Yeah,
wanted
but I
them all.
think there's some concern about having more than, what?
So you formed the committee as 5.
5.
We did 5, okay.
7 was the town government study committee. This
that's the
was a
other one.
5-member
All right.
committee that you put together. So you chose
Even
last
still, I
week.
think there would be concern about having 3 employees on it.
That's up to you as a board.
Right, but I think that might be a little bit squirrelish to have 3 employees on that committee, but, so we're gonna stick with 5, and anything else?
Nope,
Jason?
that's it.
Yeah, but I would add, so you could certainly do something with You know, the screening committee could put together an employee committee to come in and participate in an interview if you wanted to get more perspective from other people. You know, you could certainly do something like that as well.
Do you want anything?
Yeah, I looked at the list, I think all three are really good choices. My leanings towards Sam are for two reasons. One is he has been here longer than both Rennie and Chief Valentine. So I feel like that will be helpful because he's seen where we've been the past few years, how far we've come. And I actually feel the fact that he doesn't live in the town will be a good thing because he will bring the perspective of having worked in other towns to this committee and interacted with other chief financial officers. So I kind of feel like he's been here a few years, so he knows where we've been and where we are now. And I feel like the outside perspective would be interesting to have on the committee. We have two people from town on the committee, and with two selectmen from town, we have four people from town on the committee. So we have four, right? And so just one person who lives out of town would be on the committee. I think that would be a good and interesting perspective. And he's an employee of the town, so he can reflect back to the employees.
Yeah, I like Sam for those reasons, and I think he's also been part of other screening committees, hasn't he, Denise?
He sat in
Either
with-
officially or unofficially, he's been part of,
Yeah, so we interviewed the town planner, I had him involved. I think that's probably it, but
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, I think that his opinion is valuable. All right, yes,
Nothing against Sam, but they're all three good candidates, but the highway superintendent and the fire chief are both full-time employees, where Sam is not a full-time employee. And all three of them have worked out of town. Prior to coming here, they all worked in another municipality. And I just like the idea of somebody from the town of Groveland that lives here, and but they all three of them have worked for the town, but two of them are full-time employees, and that might add a different perspective.
okay. We have a motion and a second, we've had discussion. Let's vote, all in favor of Sam? All opposed? Sam it is, all right. So,
Adjourn it.
Well, can I just ask a
Yeah.
follow-up? So would I assume for now that one of you two will spearhead scheduling, and I can forward all the candidates to both of you to call a meeting until you actually form a
you,
committee?
Jason, either you or me.
Yeah, you should schedule it.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
I was hoping you'd take it. That's okay, yeah, that's fine.
flexible with whatever.
I mean, so you can, I mean, I can do the paperwork, but I think we were meeting tonight, so in case you wanted to get a jump on meeting next week or something, so, you know, if you want to at least schedule, and then you can pick a chair
Yeah,
when you assign.
if I can get all the contact info,
Yep, I'll
I'll
send that
schedule
out.
something maybe this week if we can.
Quick point. The idea that having some of the town employees maybe, if you do bring in people, if you screen and you want them to sit in on something, you know, these two and maybe a few other people,
Yeah.
it might be a nice perspective, but that would be up to the screening committee to decide,
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, because I trust you guys.
Okay,
Motion adjourned at 5:11.
Second.
motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Well,
you.
you were right.
It's less than 10 minutes.
Less than that.